Hello everyone, Tom of the Tank here. Just thought I'd show you that I do have some locomotives running around. My last couple of videos have been on aircraft. That's finished now. So as this one's running around, I'll just go to my shipyard. And here we have the Ghost Ship Flying Dutchman. I showed this, it was a birthday present from my two granddaughters. My eldest granddaughter is helping me to build it. There's no glue, screws, nuts and bolts, anything to holding this together. It's purely clipped together. And I was shocked. I thought it wouldn't be so good, but it's actually turning out quite well. I admit I have used some wood glue on the bowsprit there because that was a bit of a nightmare to assemble. This is also has green LED bulbs inside. There's the cables. There's a battery pack in the base with an on-off switch. So I'm not gonna, I have tested it, but I'm not gonna show it now. I'll wait till it's finished. So I like it. I was surprised. It's far better than I imagined. It can be a bit tricky connecting the parts together, but I think it's coming along quite well. So as you can see from, oops, just so those of you who didn't see it, there is a train running. This is not solely a locomotive channel. I cater for all tastes. Here we go. So there's another instruction on assembly, and there you can see the battery pack. Yeah, very nice. So like I say, my eldest daughter her granddaughter is in university. So, oh, there's a train again. It's the same one. Yeah, she's in university, so this is when she has a bit of free time. We sit down and attack it. Oops. So we're at this stage now. There we go. So we're at that stage. Oh, I can see a train. Yeah, so back to the shipyard. So obviously this is the Flying Dutchman, the ghost ship. I'm trying to scan back. It's probably 50 centimeters long. I haven't measured it actually, I will do later on. Okay, so that's the progress on my Flying Dutchman. And there's that train again. So for all you doubters, I do have a layout with trains running. It's coming into the station any minute, nice and slowly. Look, another boat in the harbour. So slow it right down. There we go. And stop it. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the rest of the shipyard. So continuing on from my tour of the docks, my dockyard, we've been in my hangar looking at the aircraft. Now we're going to be in my dockyard looking at my boats. So here we have the PT-109. This one was skippered by President Kennedy. This is a Schnellboot German S-100 fast torpedo boat. Now then, This is the story of my first U505, this one here, which I made in 1980. That was one that had been partially finished, I would say half completed, and I finished it off. In those days, the radio control gear wasn't, I don't know, it's much better now, let's put it that way. So anyway, this is a professor, Professor Goss, who found my U-boat because it sank in Cosmiston Lakes. And Tim J.D. Dowd will know about Cosmiston Lakes. So basically, it got caught on a kid's fishing line, you know, with the two pieces of wood and the gut wrapped around it, and you just throw it in the water and then wind it back in. It was underwater for maybe 4 months. I asked quite a few people if they could go and look for it, and they said that the water was contaminated and there were too much dangerous things underwater. So that was proven impossible. And then one of my friends in work said, "Have you seen the front page of the paper?" And when I looked, there was my submarine. So the professor said if the owner would contact him, he would be grateful because he would like to return it. And he said it's very sad because somebody had spent a lot of time making it. So anyway, it's a long story. I contacted him, I met him, I proved it was mine. I still had the stand. It's like Cinderella's slipper. It fitted perfectly. So when he was happy that it was mine, we went for some beers and I thanked him and his friend. Basically, he was testing an underwater lamp he was developing because Cosmiston Lakes is very murky. So when he explained to me what had happened, it wound itself down on a fishing line. That's how I found out its fate. So anyway, that submarine, it's a long story. It's no longer in my possession. The joys of getting married. So basically, this is my, when did I start this? 2013 I started this. This is made from a wooden plug. It's fiberglass. It's hand built. It's not a kit. It's a long story. I have featured it before. It's been modified, lengthened, redesigned. So this is its final stage of development. Last year one of the speed controllers packed in, so I've got 2 new ones to go in, so that will get that working again. Here's my Corvette. Again, this is a kit which I featured on my channel, the construction of it, how it's made, etc, and testing it in my pool. I had to gear the motor down because it was like a speedboat, so now it cruises around nice and gently. I need to make it a bit quieter, that's the only thing. The gun rotates. I've still got some stickers to put on some decals. So there we are. Now moving along, let's have a look. Here's some of my sailing ships. One of my favourites, I went on it years ago, was the Cutty Sark, and I was horrified when it caught fire, but luckily it's been rebuilt. I need to go back and see it, hopefully, well, if I can. So these are basically what you would find on holiday in coastal resorts. This gondola I bought in Venice, day trip to Venice. I thought I'd try and find an original Italian made gondola, only if you can consider PRC original Italian, you're doing well. We were walking down by the canal and a gondola said, "You like it to come on my boat? I take you around to the canal for 500 euros. I said, "Are you selling this gondola or is that the price for a trip?" 500 euros. And what I noticed were, there were literally boatloads of Japanese tourists. Oh dear, 500. Then as we were walking away, he said, okay, 300. Yeah, goodbye. So here we have a miniature model of a Type 7 U-boat. And here we have my model of a Nautilus. Just let me recap here. When I made my first submarine, I joined the Association of Model Submariners, and they produced a monthly magazine, and in one of the magazines somebody was selling these, a limited number, so I bought mine, ordered mine straight away. After seeing the film 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea many years ago, the other thing, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was actually released in 1953, the year of my birth. So it's always, I've been fascinated by this Nautilus. So anyway, my dream was to have a radio controlled Nautilus. Unfortunately, far too expensive for me. We're looking at maybe 4,000 or 5,000 euros to have an operational Nautilus, or even a big submarine. There's a gentleman called Alexander Engel in Germany who I buy my submarine parts from. He has had them. He was making them. There's also the RC Sub guy, or Nautilus Dry Docks in America. He was also producing them, but I think he's also run out of kits now. I think he said the molds were too bad. So again, a fascinating submarine. Jules Verne had a great vision. So here we have the Anna Maria. This is obviously a Spanish wooden sailing ship. I bought this from an old gentleman who had made it and was selling it at a very reasonable price, over a few pints in a pub, so I bought it. Now then, moving along swiftly, here we have a ship which is very famous. They were going to call it HMS Mars, but then at the last moment they renamed it HMS Bounty. And can you imagine having a film mutiny on the Mars bar? Wouldn't sound very good, would it? So, no, I'm joking. This was HMS Bounty from the film, or featured in the film A Mutiny on the Bounty, with Captain Bligh and the mutinous crew. This is also a kit-built ship, kit-built from wood and other materials. Very nicely made. I bought this, let's say, 2/3 complete. I just had to finish off the masts and the rigging, and the sails were a dark brown. I changed the colour of the sails. Maybe they're a bit too light, but I like them. The rigging is in black, because what I discovered was they would use some kind of tar or pitch or something to preserve the rope, so I copied that. Like I say, nicely detailed model. The rigging was a nightmare. My eyesight was a lot better then. And like I say, detailed in black. The blocks, many people won't know this, but when these pulley blocks were handmade, and it took a long time to make them, and plus obviously they weren't all the same size. So you'll never believe this. Isambard Kingdom Brunel had a father, a Frenchman, called Marc Brunel, and Marc Brunel made a machine for mass producing these pulley blocks. So there you are. There's some this week's bit of useless information. So this is for you, Nick. There's my Challenger 2 tank without all the blobby glue marks all over it, and as I used to make them as a kid. So there we go, and there's Del Boy's relined underneath. Okay, so that's my tour of the docks over. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye now.